Yo, what's going on, guys? We are back again with a new video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Today, we're going to wrap up the weekend of footy. It's so good the footy is back. It fucking feels amazing that I can fill my weekend for watching some great football. Plus, the contests this weekend were so close pretty much in every game, and there was some really surprising performances, as you already know. But without further ado, you know me. I like to do this rapid. Let's go through the weekend of footy, and hopefully you pick up some good things for your Supercoach and some things for just general footy knowledge. So let's get into the video. So the first game of the weekend, we had the Storm beating the Eels 16-12, and in this one it was pretty much a Harry Grant masterclass. So both teams were very clunky in this game. I thought both couldn't get through their sets perfectly. We had Mike Acevo get pulled back for a try that was a forward pass. I felt like the Eels were looking very dominant for certain minutes of the game there, and their forwards were making big charges and stuff. But it's good to see like players like Christian Welsh back off injury, obviously playing his first game, like proper game of rugby league other than the trial matches and stuff, and getting through some good work there. If you picked him up for Supercoach, I think he had a decent weekend there too. Harry Grant playing the full like 80, well, he played more than 80 minutes or whatever, and getting through a shit ton of work, almost making 60 tackles in this one. He was fucking amazing. Obviously, the other big talking points there was Munster coming away with the injury with a fractured finger or a compound dislocation, fractured finger. So that probably set him out for about 4 weeks from what I've heard from NRL Physio. If you haven't checked out NRL Physio, please make sure you do, guys. Like, man, the guy is amazing for all your injury news and stuff. But it does look like that's going to be a big setback for the Melbourne Storm this season. For the Eels, we had some standout performances. I think the biggest one everyone's going to be talking about this weekend is Jermaine Hopgood. I thought Jermaine Hopgood was fucking amazing in this one. I know I saw a couple of comment sections saying he missed the most important tackle of the game on Harry Grant. Man, tell me how many people are going to get into that position where Harry Grant is he's the best hooker in the game. He deceives the ruck so well. Like the markers just get out of position, this and that. And he knows, man. It's really tough to even like hold Hopgood after that. The amount of work this kid got through in his first proper game of like proper NRL standard football. The kid is a fucking stud, so I'm definitely watching out for him. Overall, the Eels played pretty well, missing a couple of big players, this and that, but I wouldn't be too down if you're an Eels fan. I actually came out a little bit more positive on the Eels in this game, especially coming into the season. I did think they were going to take a massive back foot step with players like Cartwright and Dury and all that sort of had to fill in the spot. But they did a really good job against the Melbourne Storm here, even though I think the Melbourne Storm are still a little bit of ways to go. I thought Jerome Hughes had a decent game in this one as well. I think he'll grow into being a better player now that everything's going to be on him and Grant at the moment, with Munster being out for a couple of weeks. Eli Katoa, who had a decent Supercoach game in this one for his first game back. He got through a shit ton of work as well. So I'm pretty proud to see Eli Katoa actually, without putting like a trial on the board and that, I thought he got through a lot of work. So really good job there. Moving on to the Warriors and Knights. And basically, if you haven't checked out my Wars Talk episode, I think it was number 5 or whatever I'm at to now. I do an episode each week on the Warriors because they're my favorite team and they're the most passionate about. Like, I'm most passionate about them. Go check that out. That's where I'm going to put up all my thoughts on the Warriors and how we went in this contest. My quick summary on it, I thought our forward pack was fucking amazing in this game, even though our backline sets didn't look as crispy. There was moments where it did come together and it looked really nicely, like some slick passing out the back with SJ, Tamari Martin, and on that left edge with Villiame with some tip-on passes and this and that. Chance was fucking stellar in this one. I thought he held everyone together, but it was so good to have that forward pack where Mitch Barnett, Adam Fanor-Blake, they all wanted to take blood, and this is the first time I've seen this since like back in the day where we used to tone like the grey jerseys, the old school Warriors that wanted to, like, wherever you went to Mount Smart, they wanted to kill you, and you came home in like ice and stuff. Like, fuck, man. Like, I'm so excited for this season for us. Hopefully we can consistently do this, knowing the Warriors, how we do it, but I can be happy. Like, I'm happy with this performance. With the Knights fighting back into the contest in different moments, I thought their attacking was very, very nice. Obviously, whenever they went left, I was shaking my boots. KP did look very good in this one. Obviously, not goal kicking, so not picking up the full potential in Supercoach points. But even then, scoring like, I think, a 76 this weekend in Supercoach. So definitely an option if you want to put him in. I'm pretty sure he scored something like that. I can't fully remember off the top of my head. But really decent game from KP in this one. Jackson Hastings got him to really nice points in the field. Jaden Brayley is another one I want to touch on too. I thought he had a very good performance in this one too. So I feel like they're going to grow into something really special, especially attacking wise. But, both teams stuck to game plans and really had opportunities to win this game. I think it just came down to the Warriors' desperation defense really holding them out. So Great job from both teams here. I'll be pretty happy if I was both teams. So the first biggest surprise of the weekend, obviously we having the Broncos beating the Penrith Panthers. And, first of all, I just want to touch on the Panthers and how, like, they weren't too bad in this one. Like, everyone coming out to say Jerome Luai had a fucking shocker of a game. There was moments, obviously, when we started the game, like, me and one of the boys were messaging back and forth. And, with that first try, we're like, just Panthers are straight back to doing Panthers things. But then there was a bit of a flat spot there and the Broncos really wrestled back momentum. And I think that was more of credit to the Broncos than what it was like the Panthers not playing to their standards. Nathan Cleary did have a decent game in this one for me. He was all over the park. He fucking was trying everything. They all were trying so hard. I felt like it did click in a gear when Sonny Luke came onto the field, and that's where they looked so damaging. I feel like Sonny Luke's going to get a decent amount of minutes coming into the season now. After this game, he really showed himself to be a top class hooker. But yeah, I wouldn't be too disheartened if I was a Panthers fan. I still think he's going to be top 4, top 2. Like, he's going to be up there because once you put it all together, he's going to be really tough to beat there. You still saw great performances all over the park. James Fisher-Harris was still a menace in the middle. Leota had some really good minutes, getting a nice strip for the turnover for a momentum change there. I think on Flegler at one moment there. Just the Panthers still doing Panthers things. I think it was just more credit on the Broncos for holding them out. Defensively, the Broncos came out and just wanted to take it to the Panthers, and it was really good to see. If you're a Broncos fan, I'll be more proud of this performance than be let down as a Panthers fan, if you know what I mean. I felt like that's what it was. Ezra Mam had an amazing game here, defensively looking really good, putting Cleary on his back a couple of times there, looking really, really nice. Adam Reynolds just all class, class all over the park. Herbie Farnworth was fucking amazing in this one too. Just went for a shit ton of work and getting those 2 really big, crucial tries in this game, and Adam Reynolds slaying it at the end with a nice field goal. They looked a little bit too easy, but, I just think it was in those moments of the game, both teams were very tired. Panthers were trying to make a big comeback there, but, how good is Adam Reynolds? So yeah, if you're definitely thinking of Sonny Luke is definitely a way to go for Supercoach, I probably would lean towards that way. I think I still have Harry Grant and Brendan Smith up there. I think I'm going to stick with them because I believe, a lot of people go through rage trades at the moment and chuck people out, which I'll be coming up to a little bit later on with the Doggies game. But yeah, I just think maybe stick sturdy with a couple of players. If you started off with Sonny Luke, well done. He's definitely looking like the way to go. Hopefully he gets a bit more minutes, but within the little amount of minutes he got, I think he scored about 50. So he looks fucking awesome. Manly versus Bulldogs, and Manly beating the Bulldogs 31-6. This game was a bit of a disappointment at the end there for the Doggies. There was moments to the start of the game where they were holding very sturdy in defense and really doing a good job there. I just thought they looked very clunky on that left side. Their right side actually looked very nice when they had to go to it. They just were prioritizing going to that left because they had a key piece in Viliami Kikau, that big man that's supposed to be the one to take over, take the mantle. Just didn't happen. Kikau got put in his shell pretty early, which I thought defensively the Manly Sea Eagles did very well on him. I think it was Ola Kawatu on that edge really handled Viliami Kikau very, very well. Reed Marnie was probably the biggest shining light for the Doggies in this one. I thought he was all over the park, just trying his hardest. There was a good stint there for Fleno too. He had a set there where he went into hooker for 3 tackles, got the Bulldogs on a charge, got him in a really good position, and I think that led to the Reed Marnie try. Yeah, what can I say? It was just a really downer performance for the Doggies where, obviously they stuck strong all the way up to Perez getting pulled off of that HIA from independent doctor, which probably is the biggest talking point of the weekend, him and Ponga and all that sort of stuff. And then Fleno getting sin bin for a very light touch, I don't know what to take out of that, but, a light touch on Turbo hitting the turf and, getting sin bin. And straight away, as soon as that happened, you just saw the Sea Eagles just smell blood on that edge, and they couldn't number up properly because a lot of inexperience on that side. So I feel just more credit to the Manly Sea Eagles. DC Turbo played fucking amazing. Have you ever thought Turbo did not look like Turbo, he's not fully back to the fully Turbo, but still scoring 97 points in Supercoach? What is this guy going to be when he gets to full form Turbo? This guy's at base form Turbo. Wait till he hits Super Saiyan Turbo. What the fuck? I don't even know. He's not even base form Turbo. So yeah, this guy's going to be on some fucking different level shit. Other key players I want to touch on here, obviously, Lachlan Croker, I thought had a really decent outing here. Held down the middle really well. Jakey in the middle was fucking frothing. He was so good. Tackling wise, that guy just does not miss. He puts people on their back. He caused 3 or 4 errors there. Definitely be watching him for Supercoach more often. I want to see probably a little bit more runs out of him and this and that, but played a full 80-minute game here, I'm pretty sure, off the top of my head. And yeah, really, really good game there. Garrick and Brad Parker had a really nice outing too. Obviously, Garrick picking up the 1 try on that edge where, everything was disjointed. and Parker having a really good defensive game. He's always been this type of player. Second game on your Saturday, and we had the Cowboys versus Raiders. And to be honest, I was bouncing between this and Beatdown Promotions. If you didn't check out Beatdown Promotions, I think they're at like 2K views on that live stream they put up on the weekend. Amazing MMA card. Go check that out. But I watched a shit ton of the Cowboys game, and I chucked in like on the BKR live stream too, like support to all those guys. Cowboys came out fucking firing, man. They looked so nice. Like, they're finding their form. Everything was going really well. Inside, outside plays, Drinkwater scoring 2 tries. They look like they were going to take over this game. I did point out on the BKR live stream, and like, I kind of got pizzled, not really a lot, but I don't know if this is blasphemy to say, but when I see Tommy Dearden just run the ball, have that dummy and go, he's not to the level of Ben Hunt, but he gives me like Ben Hunt vibes. He gives me that like just determination. Like he just wants to always be there. And like in this, like in the first half, he just looked fucking stellar. Like he looked really, really good. Murray Taulungi's got to be spoken as probably one of the best defensive wingers in the comp, in my opinion. He's fucking awesome and just finished his tries very, very nicely. Reece Robson had a very strong start, and Ruben Cotter got through a whole lot of work. But coming to the second half, the Raiders just really just gritted their way back into the contest here. You had like good performances from Tom Starling coming back onto the field and looking really nice. He brought that momentum back into the team. Jackie White, and obviously scoring a try there, and also like contributing in like only ways that Jackie Whiten can. Galore having like a really, really good day out there, having a try to finish off his day. He's also very good, like out of nowhere. I don't know what it is for me, but whenever you think of putting Galore on for anytime try scorer, he's good for it. Like he's like, I feel like he scores more tries than he should. So like, if you want to go that way, then you can go that way. I think it was a very good like performance from like, if you want to look at the Cowboys, like the first half was very nice. And I felt like there's some of the decisions for the short dropout where they're ahead probably wasn't the way to go. Obviously, they wanted to change back the momentum and get the ball back and all that sort of stuff. But obviously, that led to one of the Jackie Whiten tries there. So that brought the Raiders a little bit further back into the contest. And I felt like just the Raiders were just clawing back and forth. That was a very good sign for the Raiders this season. Obviously, coming off the later seasons where they would fall away in the contest. So both teams, great performance here. Cowboys coming away with the 19-18 win in this one. So the Cowboys just looking very good overall. I would be worried a little bit on that second half thing, but first game of the season, these guys, both teams trying to figure out who's like, coming up and this and that. So yeah, I got to give it to both teams here. Moving on with the Rabbits and Sharks. And in the first half, this was fucking back and forth. This was so good to watch. Like Lachlan Ilias looks like he's come out as a different player this year. Like he's defensively very sound. He's always in the contest. That right side attack was humming very, very nicely in this one. Campbell Graham getting the better out of it with the 2 tries there. And I feel like Isaac Thompson not scoring too well in Supercoach here, but he looked like he had potential to score very, very nicely. Obviously had that big break in the game where Ronaldo Mulatalo came out with a last-ditch effort to take the ball off him before he touched the line, like knock the ball out and all that sort of stuff. Ronaldo Mulatalo had a really good game too. Like he had obviously the big error to start with where Ilias just fucking chased him down and knocked the ball out of his hands to score a try. But Ronaldo never put his head down, and I felt like that was a really good thing to see. I know I'm bouncing between two teams here, guys, but like, fuck. This game was just all over the park. Like you had the Rabbits just grinding, Kalol Matangi just fucking, he had such good moments in this game, giving it to the Sharks fans too, which is, I love to see. Same with Latrell giving it to the Sharks fans. Like, this is what I love to see. I want to see like people that are in the contest that are so competitive. Like, it's fucking awesome to see. I love to see that in our game. That's what we need in rugby league. With the Sharkies, I thought Trindle had a really good game coming in for Nico Hines. He obviously scored that really nice try, putting on a Messi impression, like kicking the ball a couple of times there and scoring that try. Obviously started off there from Will Kennedy, who I feel like is always an unsung hero in this team. I feel like he's one of the most underrated sort of fullbacks going around at the moment. Credit to the Rabbits, Cam Murray and all those boys. Like, fuck yeah. Great games from all those guys. So yeah, well done for the Rabbits to getting the 27-18 win in this one. So you already know what this one is. The Dolphins beating the Roosters 28-18, and fucking hell. Like during this game, I was bouncing back and forth towards the UFC, John Jones, Alexa Grasso. Grasso picked up an amazing victory over Shevchenko in this one, and then bouncing over to the footy and just seeing the Dolphins hanging in the contest, Kafusi putting on shots and just leading from the front. It was so good to see this Dolphins team come together. This is what Wayne Bennett teams do. Like, this is fucking amazing to see. It's great for the contest of rugby league. And for this new team to come out there and just fucking give it to a powerhouse like the Roosters, who, to be fair, looked very clunky. Obviously, the start didn't look too bad. They just couldn't get it all together. And I felt like, they expected to come in this game and just slap the Dolphins. I don't know if that's fully true, but like, I felt that, like, you just had that feeling in the game. They came out and they just felt like they were going to put 60 on them. And then when the Dolphins got ahead, that's when the errors started to come for the Roosters, because they're like, oh, fuck, we got to pull something out of our ass here. And that's kind of where it got very, very clunky there. I thought Jeremy Marshall-King for the Dolphins was fucking awesome too. Through the middle, his ruck work was very, very nice. Like his marker work too. Caused a whole lot of havoc in the middle. And then players like the Hammer and all that sort of stuff just fed off it. And I feel like the Hammer was so good in support play. Obviously one of the most damaging support players there because of his speed. Like his strength and his speed. I thought he had a really good game out back there. Still needs to work on a bit of his game at fullback. Obviously he's passing, stuff like that, but that will come. The support play is very impressive, and some of the work he did for the middle was very impressive as well. I want to shout out Connolly Lemu-Elu. Fuck man, like he looked really, really nice. Like his running was so crisp, strong. Like his lines were awesome. So big shout out to him scoring that really nice try there to bolster that lead for the Dolphins. And Katoa and O'Sullivan really did very well in themselves. They never overplayed their hand. Katoa didn't start too well, but really found himself in the contest, just ending the game really nicely. And I felt like this is just going to earn him another spot in this jersey for next week, and he'll grow into something special. The last one I kind of want to touch on too is Jermaine Osako. From what he's come from, everyone knows him as probably one of the most rocks and diamonds player in the competition. Like, you know, being at the Broncos, we saw some moments where you're like, fuck, this kid could be special. And then we've seen some moments where like, oh, like, unfortunately, he might be a Q cut player. Wayne Bennett seems to get the best out of these sort of players. And you saw after the game, you know, obviously, Jermaine Osako scoring 2 tries. His goal kicking was very crispy in some aspects. He didn't like go amazing in that, but his goal kicking is very, very good. We saw that at the Broncos and this and that. You saw after the game, Wayne Bennett put his arm around him and say like some things into his ear. Obviously, I would say like he'd just be like, I'm very proud of you. You played with the game plan. And, you know, he didn't blow it a lot, but scoring those 2 tries where he had to just be there, like in the right place at the right time. A lot of good wingers do get that wrong too. So I want to give a good shout out to him. Hopefully he's in for a massive season here, because I've always have a love for Osako. Like, I think he's a very classy, like, you know, when he gets it right, he gets it right. It's just, yeah, you know, I feel like Wayne Bennett's going to get the best out of him. So with the Roosters, I feel like, you know, they're just going to grow, man. Like, what can I say? It's the first game. The Roosters usually start the season very slow, and players like Teddy and all that sort of stuff were just trying to pull something out of the hat at the end there, which caused a lot of errors to their game. Teddy not having the best game in this one, but he was still in the contest. You know, this is what you'll have to see from Teddy, taking a lot of big runs through the middle and this and that. Sammy Walker was a bit like everywhere, head shot, like shook with his head chop off, like that sort of stuff. But Sammy Walker was just trying his heart out, and that's what you want to see. Obviously, just not coming away with the chockies there. And they try to grind their way back in this, but the Dolphins just started with this stiff game plan. And when you got a team that's all on the same like game plan, everyone was working together. They knew where they wanted to be. Like everyone takes a role. Is what the Panthers have been doing for the last couple of years, and doing it so well. You don't have anyone that's playing out of line. This is where the Dolphins played in this one, and it's very impressive in their first game. And coming up to the end of the video here, guys, Titans versus Tigers. So Titans coming away with 22-10 victory here. It was a very scrappy game, back and forth. You know, like I felt like there was moments where the Titans were getting ahead, but then I felt like, you know, there was moments where the Tigers were getting like a big chunk of the ball and all that sort of stuff. And you kept looking at the scoreboard and going like, it's 12-2, and I felt like the Tigers were kind of finding their way to getting, like, they were looking up in the contest. Like, I don't know how, it was a very weird game, but obviously with players like Dave Fafita, who played fucking awesome in this game, and just strike players that the Titans have that end up, like, taking their opportunities, like, really well, is the reason why they actually came away with this victory and all that sort of stuff. Another one I want to touch on is Aaron Schopp's defense was fucking stellar in this. Like, he had a couple of big defensive plays in this game, and he was really, really good. Obviously, a tick for him. A great signing there. I thought Sammy Verrills fit in very well here. He was very, like, damaging out of ruck in some moments there. Mo Fodawaker looked really, really nice coming off the bench. We're playing decent minutes there too, so definitely one to watch there. Big shout out to Brimo, always in the contest, getting that nice meaty there where he was just coming back on the inside off a unders ball and just finding just a mad hole in the defense. Stefano, unfortunately, trying to cover there. Crazy run there for AJ Brimson, did really well in that one. Philip Sammy's support play was fucking awesome. I kind of wish some of those tries went to Pereira, obviously having in my Supercoach team, but I thought Philip Sammy was really, really good in this one too. Obviously, defensively, he did some good work too with Dewey. I thought defensively, the Titans were really, really nice. Their desperation defense was awesome in this game. Dewey has a couple Dewey can throw a cutout, like a bullet cutout. It's fucking crazy. He did about 3 or 4 times, hitting the center straight on the chest. Tommy Talau unluckily like looked a bit hampered with some sort of injury. I'm not too sure there. I thought defensively the Titans did really well to number up on that. And Tino for Asul Malaawi fucking coming away, like, you know, in a later part of the game, he just shows how worthy he is. Didn't score that well in Supercoach, was fucking unfortunate for me because he's big cash player that I just was like, I felt a bit safer than like Tarpanen and stuff like that going with him and just not getting the chockies there. You know, that is what it is for Supercoach. I'll do it for fun. So, you know, if you want to see my Supercoach video, I'll probably do a team review on Wednesday, most likely, when the team list will come out and that sort of stuff. And I'll do a couple of trades and bring someone in. But a couple of key big tackles in the game, couple of big runs. He had like a couple of sets where he did two runs in each set. Just, you know, shows why he's the captain of this team and played fucking awesome. Unfortunately for him, maybe coming away with an injury that could hamper him this season. I'm not too sure what the go is there. Haven't seen anything at NRL Physio just yet. But hopefully he is doing okay. Yeah, I just want to credit the Titans' desperation defense because the Tigers were in it at the end to try and really get this game back. With the Tigers, it was sort of disappointing, even though I thought they didn't have the worst performance ever. They had a couple of errors and some really key moments there that really took away, but I just felt like the desperation defense of the Titans really like hampered them to like, you know, just get over the line with a couple of moments. But I thought Dewey was fucking stellar. Like Dewey, like I had questions over Dewey still even coming into the season. It's the reason why I didn't put him on Supercoach. I was just like, I know the Tigers do some weird things. I'm not too sure, but Dewey was fucking awesome in this one. I credit to Dewey, just the way he runs, the way he moves. Like he just looks like a Supercoach gun. If you had him in his team, well done. I thought Clemmer did some good work. Like he had a decent amount of chunk of minutes there and, you know, all that sort of stuff. I wanted to see Stefano a little bit more. Like I feel like Stefano was a bit of a passenger for certain moments of the game. Still scoring okay in Supercoach, but, you know, I felt like the Tigers could have used him a lot better, especially for the type of player he was. Had a couple of decent moments in defense and this and that, but, you know, I just wish I saw more out of him. But yeah, like, you know, just in a couple of places, like Brent Naden had some really like nice touches, but also like, you know, he was trying his heart out too. Tommy Talau obviously coming away with the injury. I'm not too sure like how that is. Hopefully he's not too bad there because I haven't even Supercoach as well. But yeah, guys, fuck man, to round off the weekend, this was a pretty good game to watch. Obviously, there's just a scrappy game that was so like defensively minded. Obviously, both really great attacking teams. They could just pull something out of their ass and like, yeah, just great to watch. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. This is going to be a little bit more raw and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully not too much editing going on so you get my full feelings of this game. This is how I like to do my content and all that sort of stuff. It was a little bit more rapid, but you know, you got to see how I felt about each game. Watching every game of the weekend is so good to get back to it. I love the footy so much. It was so good. So if you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts on the weekend, how your team did over the weekend, and a couple players that maybe I missed out on because I had to shrink this down to a nice like YouTube sort of content and all that sort of stuff. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Hope you had a great week so far. Take it easy. Peace out.